how digitalization is boosting budding India's InsurTech ecosystem. And for the same, I would request our moderator to join, Dr. Abhijit Ghosh, Head Claims, Fraud, Waste and Abuse, Retail Underwriting from Aditya Birla Health Insurance Company Limited. Let's have a huge round of applause, everyone, for the moderator. And now I would request the following panelists to kindly join us. Mr. Mahesh Agrawal, Head Core IT, Application and Information Management, SBI General Insurance. Mr. Prasad Pimple, Executive Vice President and Head of Digital Business, Kotak Life. Mr. Nilot Pal Gupta, Head of Data Science, ICICI Securities. Mr. Taran Khanna, Head Digital and Strategy Technology at Reliance General Insurance. And Mr. Sudeep Bandopadhyay, Group Chairman at Indo-Trade Capital. I would request the moderator to kindly begin with the session.
Hi, Vic, for giving us this opportunity. And we have a broad representation from the various domains. We have representation from the insurance part, from the fintech, the FinCorp part also. So many thanks for all the speakers to join me on this panel discussion. So the topic is that how is digitalization boosting and building the Indian InsurTech ecosystem, and we will be correlating this with the insurance domain, that is both the general and the life, and also we'll try to cover on the health part also, because SAHI, as you know, is a domain that is being looked specifically. And when I was reading about all this, trying to explore more, I would say the common misunderstanding that comes is digitization equal to digitalization. So the difference is only of Ali. And many of us mistakenly link both of this together. So the moment, let's say, we put something into the computer, we feel that I have digitalized it. But it could be only a scan copy, which may actually eat up lot of byte spaces, but not yield any positive outcome. So here we are going to bring a differentiation between digitization and digitalization and how it is impacting the entire space. So let's begin the talk, and we would like to make it more interactive. So once we discuss, we will have some questions from the audience also, so that the esteemed panel can answer it. The first question I would say maybe to Sudeep, that how it has made the entire process of purchasing and managing the insurance policies. Maybe you can answer more on the general part, and then I would request the counterpart from the life part also to answer it. That it has made it more convenient or more accessible or approachable. What's your thought on that?
I think absolutely correct. I think one point I would like to mention is that we are still a grossly underpenetrated market as far as insurance is concerned. The scope for insurance industry to do much more, generate much more coverage is humongous. I think we're just scratching the surface. Now, one of the reasons for that is that, we saw the banking and the Jan Dhan type of an initiative ensured that there's a wider coverage of people having bank accounts. So we need to think out of the box and we need to do something big, and that can only happen through technology. And as Mr. Ghosh, Dr. Ghosh has been saying, that digitization, I think, and the technology, AI and things like that can probably make it happen. Coming from a distribution background, background running microfinance and NBFCs, I would say that what has happened over the years is that 3-4 things have happened, which has led to lot more insurance penetration. It is still much less than what is warranted, but lot more. One is the innovation, I would say, of embedded insurance. Now, embedded insurance ensures that it becomes selling of insurance or buying of insurance becomes frictionless. Now, what is embedded insurance? It is, we are buying an airline ticket. There is an already inbuilt insurance cover along with that ticket. Or we are taking a housing loan, there is already an insurance on our life, credit life is already there. So embedding an insurance product along with some other transaction which we are anyway doing, I think is the way forward to take insurance coverage to a much, much higher level. Look, what is happening is the transaction is happening in a frictionless manner. I don't have to think, I don't have to do something else. I don't have to worry about paperwork. I don't have to worry about anything else, but I'm getting an insurance coverage as soon as I'm buying an airline ticket. Similarly, what is happening is also the other trend which we have seen, and this all has been possible because of, to an extent, digitization and the technology, is a sachet. Insurance products, people, particularly in the general insurance, people have a feeling that paisa gaya. I've given money, but I won't get anything back from it. It's not right, but that's the thought which most of the people have. Now, the moment you are reducing the ticket size of a particular insurance, particularly in the general area, which includes health, I would include health there, the acceptability becomes much, much higher. And we have seen this in the ground. A microfinance company sells or microfinance company services customers who are in rural areas, semi-urban area, women. Now for them to buy insurance, they don't understand. And they mostly are reluctant to spend money doing these. Now, if there is an embedded insurance, if there is something which is embedded, it is very easy for us also to take it forward and convince them. Whereas if there's a separate process, entirely separate process, it becomes extremely difficult. Now, technology also helps because here one has to remember that the feet on street, which is interacting with these women, they are also of not that caliber that they can juggle multiple insurance products, multiple loan products. So the more you simplify, the more you use technology to provide the service, the better it becomes. So to my mind, I think technology can do multiple things, have been doing things, but the biggest innovation which I've seen, or biggest development rather which I've seen, is embedding insurance products with other things, other services and products, which makes it frictionless, and also making it in a sachet form. FMCG witnessed a revolution when sachets came in. So I think the similar concept in insurance we are witnessing in multiple areas, and that is yielding significant results.
Thanks, Sudeep. Just to take a cue from this and want to just explore this further, because you have touched on the topic of embedded insurance. They all say that friction is a necessary evil. So the viewpoint is that when a person may not know that some insurance part got embedded and they end up paying the premium for which they were not aware, how will this aspect be managed there? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Hosh, what I'm saying is, it is not that you don't make the person aware. Now I'm buying an airline ticket to travel. It's a normal thing. We all keep doing that. Now, if you tell me that I have to fill up a separate form, do some incremental paperwork for taking an insurance, most of the time, most of the people will say, forget it. I have already a life insurance. I have already an accident cover. But if it comes along with the airline ticket, it's part of that cost, and it's spread over a large population. It's a very small cost. I don't mind.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that you don't make the customer aware, you slink it in. Not that, definitely not that in. You should. I'll give you an example. We sell the hospi cash or the health product to customers in villages. The same women who is buying or who is taking a microfinance loan, we also give them hospi cash. Now, this is very essential. If they're hospitalized, it benefits, and we explain the benefit and they take it. But it goes along with that.
Right.
So all I'm trying to say is that if we can embed it with some other product which they need it, like I want to travel, I'll buy an airline ticket. Now it's embedded. Not that you just quietly slip that in. No, that's not right.
Absolutely. So the key takeaway is that yes, make it easy, but keep them informed so that at the end there is no friction. Yeah. And from the life insurance part, so Prasad, would you like to pitch in?
Yeah. So I completely agree with what Mr. Sudeep said, that when it comes to the embedded part of it, it's very frictionless, easy to do that as a journey. But when we talk about life insurance individual products, doing that frictionless journey is not that easy because of the amount of information you seek from the customer and the kind of medicals you require when it goes through the underwriting as a process. That's where the entire challenge comes in. When we talk about the digitization or digitalization of the entire process, that we have already done. We have an online form, we have eKYC to collect the document or CKYC. But somewhere that entire medical process which comes in, that creates a lot of challenges. So in future, once we have the full-fledged deployment of ABHA, which is Ayushman Bharat health account, I think that might solve this entire problem of medical thing coming into it. Because once you have the information, once you have the complete details about the customer, which can be used by the life insurance company for that matter, then it will become far simpler, easier to do a complete transformation. Currently, what has happened, we have just made our physical offline form-based process as an online process. Everything else remains the same. The customer interaction is online, filling up the form is online, collection of document is online, but it is still not straight through with the help of health information. It is still not straight through with the help of automated underwriting. We still believe that we should do manual underwriting, look at each and every case, look for a lot of information, look for the IIB data. Everything comes into the perspective to complete the entire end-to-end process. That's where the challenge lies today in life insurance and where the solutioning is required in terms of utilizing it. Even from the perspective, there are so many Gen AI tools which are available today. Basis face scan, we can get a lot of information, the vital information like blood pressure can be checked, the SpO2 can be checked. Even I have seen some of the solutions giving a glucose, the blood glucose as well. But with the lack of supporting clinical data, or there's a correlation between the clinical data as well as what face scan is throwing up as the information, that's where the challenge comes in. But what I believe, over a period, both ABHA, ABHA, plus all these technologies coming together, the true digital transformation will happen in even an individual policy of life insurance.
Thanks, Prasad. Yeah, Sudeep.
I want to add one small thing. I think IoT can play a big role in life insurance. We all use smartwatch. Now, if smartwatch can be linked or something can be done, I don't know, you guys are from technology, so that the insurance company can customize. I walk every day 10 kilometers. He doesn't. Now, my life insurance policy and his policy should be priced differently. I drive very carefully. He drives in a rash manner. So, things like that, which now with an EV coming in, I'm sure technology can in some manner, instead of a, one size fits all policy, this is the policy, this is the age, this is the premium he has to pay. Instead of that, it has to be customized. I think that is one place where IoT can play, Internet of Things can play a big, big role.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I have a question here actually. The technology is making a lot of data available. AI, ML, the question which we are trying to identify in this example, will the final approval will still remain with the underwriter? That I think we need to be very clear that what it is doing is it is bringing various enablers, lot of variables available where you can customize and to what extent it can suggest. But the final approval still lies with the underwriter. It is not a machine which is approving. So I just thought I will clarify.
No, Nilokal, what you're saying is absolutely right. And if you see how the regulator also places, be it claims or be it underwriting, it is the insurance companies authorized people at that position who has to take the final call. All IoTs or other aspects can be enabler for the underwriter or the claim processor to take the final outcome. And like you mentioned, Sudeep, absolutely right. There are no policies in the market. I can probably talk about like my organization also, where we note it, and in the subsequent renewal basis the health condition, certain amount of discount is being passed on. So let's say if somebody, and in other companies also I think it is explored, and if you are having a good lifestyle, maybe completing 10,000 steps per day or having a daily calorie burn of 300 plus in a gym and all, then that gets calculated, and when the renewal comes, it can be equated off with the some sort of a discount. So many organizations are looking at, so that's where the wellness comes, and that's where the digitalization takes part, because digitization is I just upload my report, that's it. I upload my Aadhaar card, I upload my PAN card. What's the fun of it if the data is not getting into the form and I have to manually fill it? So that's where the role of digitalization come, I think.
I have add on to what Nilotul said, right? It actually depends on the environment you're in. Like in GI for us, actually in GI for us, it's quite different. The adjudication also is being done by the bots. We've been able to collect enough data to, take away a lot of effort which is going just in paper processing. A simple example of a windscreen has a crack. The AI today is fully developed to understand that the windscreen needs to be replaced. The event analysis does not need to go. The valuations are prefixed. Enough data of the past is available. We know the value, and the adjudication can be done. So that's how things are changing, right? Maybe the scenario in life is a little different. Maybe in general also, when you look at a TP claim, it will be different. But there are a lot of other processing which adjudication also can be left to the systems with the depth of data obviously coming in.
So because of active digitalization, especially in the motor space, lot of, I would say, enhancement has been done. We have seen just upload your video of the car damage and the system comes out with the approximate amount. And if they both match, it is a STP process. Unfortunately, in the health part, this has not been made possible because just by clicking here, but the point which was made that there are now equipments which can scan your face and give an outcome. So there are lot of firms, and we call it as digital assessment, where it can be done. So not only on the non-life part, that is the machines, which is in the motor part, but in the non-machine or the human part also, there are now lot of advancements. And thanks to IoT and the digitalization part, we are able to get at some sort of a matrix. Great. I think this was a good topic for discussion. So now coming to you, Tarun, what do you feel that how has the availability of online platforms, the mobile applications, how this has helped for the person who is buying a policy to arrive at some sort of a comparison or understanding that which product to go for, which product not to go for via digitalization method?
I think it's quite an easy one, and everyone will agree that marketplaces and online platforms have really helped the entire industry grow. Consumer is really the king. What started about 15 years back, more as ease of doing, transparency, is today actually gone a much ahead model, because today you have every company has an online presence. The data is available. Comparative platforms have fairly become enriched in terms of the quality of information which is now available, the audit mechanisms which are there, and the scale at which they are able to sell adds further value. But where the real need for the market is coming is for the consumers largely, is around on the fact that product innovation has picked up pace in the last 3 years. Post-COVID, in the general insurance space where I am there, we never imagined that we could come out with as many products as we would have done in the last 18 months. All of you would have bought your car policies for a very long time. And there was nothing. It was like, koi bhi company ka kharid lo, price dekh ke difference hai. But the reality today is that there are products like Pay As You Drive, which today account for about 40% of our consumers buying it. They see value. They understand that, and they're willing to go that extra mile to save their cost. They're willing to go get a video done of their car, upload, and understand that these many kilometers I'm going to drive. And this actually, for certain cities of the country, would be their primary car. If I could talk about Delhi, somebody with average driving for a car is about 17,500 kilometers. But if you go to Chandigarh, it'll probably be 5,000, 6,000 kilometers. So the product innovation has picked up pace. Now, that's from the consumer side of it. What is really helping the insurers is about the declarations which are coming. And one of the points I was trying to address here is that when you are on a marketplace, we are getting about close to 2x better disclosures in health. When somebody is not meddling the process or guiding the consumer, and consumer himself is answering the questions, likelihood of defaults are less, which is also helping consumers on the other side. There is a 10% higher claim payout evident now on digital policies, and this is data I'm talking about the last 15 years. How overall performance of claim payout has happened. That means that insurance should be fretting? No, the answer is no, because we are saving 20%. Because what you're pricing the consumer, and like Sudeep was mentioning, you're pricing him right. You really know which consumer is an avid consumer who may probably cheat you, or a consumer who's probably very, very sharp enough in understanding that he has a process of claim, he's got a fixed declaration, you're pricing it right. So the competition is driving this fairly well. In the end, consumers are benefiting. That's a true fact. That's why we see a shift on year, the number of policies which are sold across companies being there. And there is also help the entire insurance industry in terms of building their own platforms. We never used to talk about omnichannel 5 years back in insurance. Today, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's a necessary evil, I may say, or the need of innovation. I will pick up the need of innovation as the reason for building omnipresent challenge, and also the fact that marketplaces are giving you that kind of an experience, which is good for the consumer.
Absolutely.
And the last point I have here is that even our regulator today now recognizes the need of marketplaces. Just yesterday, Bima Sugam regulations, draft regulations have come out, clearly specifying the fact that how transparent and model has to be. And the underlying being end-to-end buying journey hona chahiye, things should be available. That's now, I think, pretty much bread and butter.
So a lot of initiatives has been taken by the regulator, like this Bima Sugam, Bima Satark and all. So I think these are helping us.
Just one point I would like to add in this thing, that with this marketplaces coming in and so many platforms coming in, what has also happened that most of the product solutions of the insurance companies have now become comparable. Earlier, the problem was they were not comparable. There are so many different benefits which are put into a particular product. Customers are finding it difficult to compare two products. Now, what has happened with some amount of this comparison coming into the picture, you need to force feed your product into that thing. It's one way we can say that it is making our products a bit of a commodity because they are easy to compare from one parameter, like for example, term insurance. Everybody knows that, okay, term insurance is a simplified product, there's nothing into it, but claim settlement percentage became an important parameter to compare. The how much time you take to settle the claim has also become an important parameter to compare. So from the insurance company's perspective, these parameters have also become a lot more important as part of the product. If I talk about guaranteed benefit savings product, there as well, everything has moved to something like comparing the IRR, comparing the returns out of it. Because earlier insurance companies were not getting compared on pure returns, but on the way the payouts are structured. Difficult to compare, correct? One long-term product giving 25 years of income vis-a-vis a 15-year income, but with a lot of insurtech companies comparing the products on one single parameters has added a lot of simplification into the insurance products. That's what I look at it.
Right. Yeah.
I would like to just add, since you talked about digitalization and regulatory, which is very close to my heart. So on a regulatory perspective, as you mentioned, we are not only working on Bima Sugam, there are Bima Trinity. And what is that about? It's about Bima Wahak, empowering the women in tier 2, tier 3 cities to get onboarded on a digital platform so that my Bima Sugam gets easy. Bima Sugam is a platform for ensuring the convenience, the journey of entire policy issuance, the claims issuance, the experience which we talked about seamlessly. But Bima Sugam is Bima Wahak is a place where the distribution at tier 2, tier 3 city takes into account. Then we talk about the NHA, the ABHA. ABHA is just a part of it. When we talk about Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, which is a part of ABHA, the entire ecosystem, which is on a digital platform, will be conducted right from hospital to the insurance company and back and forth. So, and I believe this is currently in UAT environment, and we are working closely with the regulators to get this in place. So once that is implemented, the vision of our government to have cashless claims on mediclaim perspective will be a reality. And it's just few months away now, because all insurance companies and hospitals have been asked to work on this single platform. So Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, Bima Sugam, Bima Wahak, these are all the areas are working towards getting into the digitalizations and making things much convenient, much easier for the consumers. I thought
No, you're right,
and
Mahesh.
the last piece was on the DPDP Act. When we talk about the entire digitalization and the data comes into picture, that's where government is also pushing a lot how we can protect the information of our customers. So this entire activity, what we are talking about, will get controlled in a very secure way. So I thought we just adding this value.
Absolutely.
That's the topic.
And we'll stay with you, Mahesh, because it all depends on the IT and the core part, how good our system. So just to throw some stats, there was a report of McKinsey which states that the investment on the insurtech has increased by 10 times in the last 8-9 years, which used to be about $140 million in 2010, has become about $1.7 billion by 2018. So now I think if you have a report, I think it will be 3-4 times of that. And almost 80% of CEOs believe that this is the next way ahead. So when this type of pressure comes to somebody who manages the core systems, so how do you feel that we are geared up for those changes? And how does the various stakeholders link to you, the claims, the sales, the underwriting, the ops, how do they take it?
It's a very difficult question. I have been working on the migration project. I did 2 migration for core insurance and implemented the greenfield implementation entirely for SBI as well. So I know the pain that it goes through in migrating. Even if you have to migrate a simple application, we understand what the pain would be. Here we are talking about the entire product, the entire customer journey. We are talking about the claims journey, the policy admin, and giving the customer an experience. All of us who are sitting here don't want to give an experience to the customer on claim, but whenever anything happens, how a customer would act upon and how frictionless journey that we can give to the customer is what people are thinking, and we are moving on the same journey. So implementing or migrating the core insurance application, looking at the post-COVID era, all the insurance companies and the instant gratification of getting everything at the minute of 15 minutes, 30 minutes claims certifications and all, the point has came that we have to change the core. The core, which is a legacy system, may not be in a position to work with the latest technology that we want through. And why is it so? Because we have come up with the parameter rating a customer basis on the product selection. Actually pay as you drive that he was talking about is nothing but the customizable product, and make it convenience, whether it is for the health, whether it is for telematics, whether it is for a crop insurance for that per se, getting into the drone system and verifying the entire crop system in one go. So all of this, our legacy system doesn't have the capacity. So we have to move to the next gen product. And believe me, getting into the next gen, getting the entire system ready on a digital platform, we need to understand change for the change's sake. Don't take all the changes together. Pick up the modules which is the most relevant for a particular company and then start working towards the same, because it involves not only 10% of the budget which he's talking about, it's actually 40 to 50% over the period of time. And the inconvenience that the customer has during this migration process needs to be stabilized. So that's where the second area that we need to ensure that a proper reconciliation of entire activity happens. The stakeholders, the board members needs to be with you during this journey, because it's not that easy. There would be delay. Most of the transformation project I have seen gets into a lot of challenge area and delays. So during that journey, we need to ensure that the process and the support from the stakeholders continues to be there, even if there is a cost increase which happens over a period of time. And the entire activity needs to be done through a risk mitigated way. Till the time we migrate the code, ensure that the existing system and the functionality continues to work. It's not just 10% of the cost that we are talking about, which was happening as Mackenzie mentioned. Globally, it is 80% that is being spent as of now on InsurTech and relevant technologies, whether it is AI, whether it is IoT, whether it is any other devices that we are talking about, the drone technology. So a lot of information, a lot of activity is being worked upon, along with supporting the regulator on the Bima Trinity, which we talked about. Whatever legacy system doesn't have that capability, so the new system that we worked upon, and we have very few core insurance which is available, whether they support, whether they continue to work on the need of the business as well as regulatory. So all of these things needs to be kept in mind and should progress with the proper stakeholders, with the proper requirement clarity. We should process on the same.
Absolutely. The clarity, the milestones have to be very clear. Otherwise, the moment the project starts getting delayed, I think that is a very bad sign for the entire project. Yeah. Thanks, Mahesh. I'll come to Niloptal now. What do you think that how has digitalization, it has been able to leverage all the players on the risk analysis, on the analytics part, and also on the part of fraud prevention?
Okay. So I'll take one by
One by one.
fraud, I'll give an example. There could be many. See, one thing, while we talk about AI ML, the thing which has helped is we have got a lot of data available. Thanks to the new age data infrastructure, the open sources, this enormous data available to analyze. Now, general insurance, for car insurance, I'll give an example. There was some data observed, again, not to be offensive with anyone, okay, where a customer is taking a car claim where the garage is 30 kilometers away from the house of the customer. Okay. And every time the claim happens, why would a customer travel all the way 30 kilometers to take his car damage claim? Is there something? Okay. So, see, now the thing is, these are the kind of data that the analytics team analyzes and throws it out to the fraud team.
Yeah.
Necessarily does not mean it's a fraud, but it's an indication of fraud. Okay. So that's how analytics is playing a role as an enabler to functions and business to take decisions. So you have the address available, the address of the customer available, the address of the garage available, the lat long available, everything available. So how far it is? Okay. So I just gave one example. There could be many.
Absolutely.
Right. The second, coming to life. Okay, and the OEMs can always add. One of the things the insurers look for is persistency of the policy. Because somebody takes a policy and after 2 years the cancels happens, neither the customer who is taking the policy is getting any benefit, neither the insurance player getting any benefit. So the problem statement gives what all variables can play a role in persistency, and the risk is next to that. So of course, there are variables, the informations that you can collect from the customer, which is the customer is willing to give, right? That my salary is this, I have this health problem or that, whatever that is disclosed by the customer. Now, the thing is, what more analytics can throw out? So we do, with the consent of customers, we do credit bureau scrub of customers. So what we have seen is that a bad credit score has also got a correlation with persistency of policy. So if an individual is defaulting on loans, okay, there is a correlation with persistency. Okay, so somebody, if I'm an individual, I take loans and I don't pay on time, or I have defaulted, I take loan from one lender and then to close that, I take a loan from another lender, and then finally the credit score gets generated. We all understand. So we have seen a strong correlation of persistency of policy with credit score. A good credit score customer has a good persistency on policy versus a bad credit score. So I'm just giving examples where analytics is adding value in addition to what customer is giving information. Right? The third question was about personalization, right? Okay. So again, a lot of people spoke about pay as you drive, can the health parameter can give. So the other thing is, how does a lot of data that the customer is leaving on the platform can help you about personalization, right? So we recently, and that's where, because the customer is today has got a lot of information available, right? And the individual is either on the website or on an app to doing searching, right? The whole thought process is, instead of a push model, can it be a pull model? Where you know what the customer is looking for and then do the conversation that way, versus a product you have to pitch in and you go on, keep on pitching about that. So the capability of clickstream analytics helps a lot in that. So what I mean by that is, the customer is on the website, customer has clicked on life insurance. Now, is the customer is clicking on a savings related product or on a term insurance or something else, right? That's one. Now, on term insurance, the kind of data that we are looking at is the customer is multiple times searching of increasing the sum assured versus the premium mode. That's an indication that, you know, the sum assured remains same. The customer is constantly looking at what is the monthly premium versus an yearly and annually, right? Then the second thing is, a lot of times you go with term insurance and you say that, you know, you take critical illness as an add-on. Is the customer is really looking for that critical illness or not? So these are the kind of data today you can capture through clickstream analytics, what the customer is looking for. Now, if you know, here is a customer who came to the platform, along with sum assured, the customer is also looking for critical illness. Then you pitching the product that way. And that's where the personalization comes in. So these are some of the things which we are gathering from the analytics side and analyzing and giving the information to the product so that it helps in more personalized way of interaction to the customer than a very generic behavioral way of approaching to the customer.
Thanks, Nilottar. And then coming to Prasad, at the end it has to transfer to the moment of truth. So how this has got all the implications on claims or the verification process, your thoughts?
Yeah. So claim has in a way got simplified now with digitalization happening. Everything can be collected online, can be can go straight through. We'll talk about the machine learning models into it, analytical models, which are nothing but giving us the indication that this particular customer is good to go through, straight through, or should I need to do a field investigation. All that information is available. But the most important thing which all this claim settlement using the model, analytical models to decide upon the process and thing, it has helped the sourcing more. The way you have simplified the claim process today and you have started generating so much of data online, it has simplified your sourcing process more. So for that matter, now we have models which predict that, okay, particular customer who is coming into the system now is more prone towards a claim. You can stop that particular thing upfront. So the entire objective of somebody not disclosing something, or it is not coming out as a part of any of the verification we are doing upfront, that now model is predicting because of the availability of the claim data and the kind of analysis we have done around the same. So that's where the biggest advantage which has got created because of this entire InsurTech ecosystem. And the second most important part is that once you have got the customer onboarded, you normally do some amount of risk containment unit verification. A lot of those things have also started happening now with the help of digital technology. Earlier, what used to happen, everything is the field visit, and field visit comes as a PDF report. No one can use that data for any of the further processing. But now that also comes as a part of the system-related data, which can go into the further processing, further data analysis on top of it, and that information can also go into sourcing as well as the claim processing part. So connecting all those dots, right from sourcing to a claim which is going to come after 10, 15 years, that entire ecosystem has really become strong now.
So, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah.
I'll just take one example because what I did 1 month back, I took an insurance claim of my car. So the point that you said, I just give the car to the garage near to my house, and I just spent 5 minutes there. Every information, my PAN, Aadhaar, driving license, everything was asked digitally. And the next day onwards, what's happening in the entire claim process, everything was coming in my WhatsApp number. And all the data that this was your total damage, these are the sections that damage, this is approved by the insurance company, this is your self-pay. Everything is coming in front of a workflow. And as a customer, I don't have to take the pain of calling someone, going to the garage, all of this. And every day it was coming that, what is the status of your repair and all of that, and then the end of 5th day your car is done, you can go ahead and deliver. Everything simplified and the information is available to the customer through technology. So I did not have to take the hassles of the claim settlement.
Absolutely.
So this was an experience I myself experienced.
Yeah. No, I think you are right. Maybe we can invite certain questions from the audience before we conclude. So, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Be it retail or group. Okay, in an association that happens with the organization, so that goes through me to the legal framework, association discussions, and final closure. So one of the things that all of you were talking about predominantly was only about maybe a retail perspective. I did not. I don't know if others agree. From a group business perspective, for example, as an insurance company, I partner with, just to take a name, I want to partner with, say, State Bank of India. State Bank of India is associated with our company and wants to sell insurance products of us through the loan attachment, whatever loans that they sell. Now, when we talk of digitalization, the first question is, what role will the agent, the advisor, have if everything is going to happen through a bot or through digital world? Okay, is that going to remain relevant over the years, or the human intervention still holds good? Okay, that is one. For retail as well as for group. But when you talk of group, the volume is huge. It's like comes in lakhs. Okay, if I can't quote the name of organizations that we partner with, but we get lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of volume of data. How is that going to get bridged with the help of digitalization? Do you think KYC collection, email, and KYC, the process that happens, is that going to help? Is digitalization going to help that thing, shorten or maybe like devoid of? Can we see that in the future?
So let me take this question, the second part of it, where you're talking about the group policies. And I come from the background where we process a lot of claims, right? It's largely about a consumer interaction. From a general insurance perspective, we sell a group policy which is as low as 2 rupees priced to a 20,000 rupee policy which a bank might be selling. The core element which my co-panelist also discussed about is what is the microservices architecture you are building up in terms of handling the data processing. Your advantage there is that each and every partner of yours who's selling on group is not actually sending you anything on paper. The bank has KYC of the consumer. Your partners have data for who they are, their personal details, their communication details. Sending everything is so easy. I'll just give you an example that today we have the capability already there in the industry with many companies to process a claim in a flash without even asking for a request from the consumer. My fellow panelist was talking about embedding policies. We sell about 40 million policies every year in the form of embedded. Essentially, like when you buy an airline ticket, there is cancellation for any reason available as part of the ticket. We used to always tell consumers you have to file for a claim and would take about 6 to 8 hours for us to process back because we'll check if the flight was delayed or not. Just one service, which was about checking, we could ourselves check that this flight was delayed and so many people had to be paid for. Can you imagine that our claims rate has actually come down from the time we started auto crediting the consumer? Because earlier everyone would file for it, we will spend a lot of money checking valid and non-valid claims. Now consumers are so friendly that they just buy it along with the ticket. Now one of the reasons we always think about that your attachment rate is increasing. Yes, that's helping us. The consumers are giving more money and the LR is dependent on what is the amount of claims you're supposed to pay. Earlier, only the person who was very firm that there's an anti-select possible would buy. That's a real difference. The microservices architecture you define for an organization, the way you set up your data rules, is very critical for you to run large-scale group businesses. Those are more foundational elements as an organization you need to come up with, and the rule-based architecture. You can't have manual interventions across on those processes. It'll become a very costly process.
In fact, I'd like to add that, when you are working with groups, I think we work with a lot of insurance companies as a group and, do what you are talking about. And I don't think we'll onboard somebody as an insurance partner whose technology is not proper, because the friction level becomes huge then. Both at the time of getting the policy holder onboarded and the claim settlement. I briefly talked about HospiCash. Now there are claims. Now unless technology is appropriate and seamless, I think it will be disaster for me also, because at the end of the day they're my customers also, and I have sold the policy. Of course, the insurance company is the owner of the policy and they're supposed to service. But if their technology is not good, I will earn a bad name. My customer will be upset with me and my core business also will suffer. So technology is absolutely must.
Great.
Do I have some time or I'm in a
I'm so sorry, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
So we can actually connect in lunch break if you have any questions.
Thank you for the answer. Yeah.
Thank you. And now I would request Dr. Abhijit Ghosh to kindly felicitate the following panelists. Kindly
Now I would request kindly felicitate Mr. Nilud Pal Gupta, Head of Data Science, ICICI Securities. Mr. Tarun Khanna, Head Digital and Strategy Technology, Reliance General Insurance. And Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Group Chairman at IndiTrade Capital. Thank you each and everyone, all the panelists over here for joining us and moderating this session. Let's have a group picture. Up next, we have last session before we move forward to lunch break. Thank you everyone. Thanks.